Welcome to the ultimate guide on how to become a stockbroker. Whether you are a student charting your career path, a professional considering a transition into finance, or simply someone fascinated by the world of Wall Street, this video will walk you through everything you need to know. We are going to cover the education you need, the licenses you must obtain, the career pathway from day one to senior broker, the pros and cons of the profession, what you absolutely must know, what you must avoid at all costs, and the downfalls you will face if you do not follow the correct path. This is a 30-minute deep dive, so grab a notebook because by the end of this video, you will have a complete roadmap to becoming a successful stockbroker. Before we begin, a quick disclaimer. This video is for educational purposes only. It is not financial advice, legal advice, or career counseling. Always consult with a licensed professional and verify current requirements with the Financial Industry Regulatory Authority, also known as FINRA, and the Securities and Exchange Commission, the SEC, as regulations can change over time.
Let us start with the fundamentals. What exactly does a stockbroker do? At its core, a stockbroker is a licensed professional who buys and sells securities, such as stocks, bonds, and mutual funds, on behalf of clients. These clients can be everyday individuals saving for retirement, or they can be massive institutions managing billions of dollars. The stockbroker acts as the bridge between the investor and the financial markets. Without a broker, you cannot place trades on major exchanges like the New York Stock Exchange or NASDAQ. You need a member of the exchange or a firm that belongs to one to execute those orders. But being a stockbroker today is far more than just placing trades. The role has evolved dramatically over the past 2 decades. With the rise of online discount brokers and mobile trading apps like Robinhood and E-Trade, the traditional commission-based stockbroker who simply executed buy and sell orders has largely been replaced. Today's successful stockbroker is part financial advisor, part salesperson, part relationship manager, and part compliance officer. You are not just executing trades. You are building portfolios, offering investment guidance, managing risk, ensuring that every recommendation aligns with your client's financial goals and risk tolerance, and maintaining meticulous records to satisfy regulatory requirements. Many stockbrokers have transitioned into what we call financial advisors or wealth managers. They offer comprehensive financial planning, retirement planning, estate planning, and tax-optimized investment strategies. The most successful ones build a book of business, a portfolio of clients who trust them with their life savings. And that trust is not given, it is earned. One conversation, one successful strategy, and one transparent fee structure at a time. The typical workday of a stockbroker is fast-paced and multifaceted. You might start the morning reviewing pre-market data and overnight global market movements. Then you're on the phone with clients, discussing portfolio adjustments, answering questions about market volatility, and recommending new positions. The afternoon might involve prospecting for new clients, attending compliance training, preparing performance reports, and staying current on market news, earnings reports, and economic indicators. It is a career that demands constant learning and adaptability.
Now let us talk about education. The first question many people ask is, do you need a college degree to be a stockbroker? The short answer is, in most cases, yes. While there is no specific legal requirement for a particular degree, the vast majority of brokerage firms require at least a bachelor's degree. And the degree you choose matters. The most relevant fields of study are finance, business administration, economics, and accounting. These programs give you the foundational knowledge you'll need to understand financial markets, investment products, risk management, and the regulatory environment. A finance degree will teach you about corporate finance, investment analysis, portfolio management, and financial markets. An economics degree will give you deep insight into macroeconomic forces, interest rates, inflation, and how government policy moves markets. And accounting degree is incredibly valuable because understanding financial statements is essential when evaluating companies and investment opportunities. But here's the truth that many people do not tell you. Your degree gets you the interview. It does not get you the job. What gets you the job is demonstrating that you understand how markets work, that you have strong interpersonal skills, that you can handle high-pressure environments, and that you are committed to passing the licensing exams. Many top firms also look for internships or relevant work experience during your college years. If you're still in school, seek out internships at brokerage firms, investment banks, or financial advisory practices. These experiences are invaluable. They give you real-world exposure, help you build a professional network, and often lead directly to full-time job offers. Some aspiring stockbrokers also pursue advanced degrees, such as a Master of Business Administration or MBA, or professional certifications like the Chartered Financial Analyst or CFA designation, or the Certified Financial Planner or CFP certification. These are not required to start, but they can significantly boost your credibility, earning potential, and career advancement opportunities, especially as you move into more senior roles or specialized areas like wealth management or institutional sales. For those wondering about the timeline, a typical path looks like this: 4 years of college to earn your bachelor's degree. During your junior or senior year, you start applying for entry-level positions at brokerage firms. Once hired, your firm will sponsor you for your licensing exams, which brings us to the next critical part of this journey.
The licensing process is where many aspiring stockbrokers hit their first major hurdle, and it is a big one. In the United States, you cannot simply declare yourself a stockbroker and start trading. You must be licensed by FINRA, and the licensing process involves a series of examinations that test your knowledge of securities, markets, regulations, and ethical practices. The first exam on your journey is the Securities Industry Essentials Examination, commonly known as the SIE. This is a 75-question, 105-minute exam that covers the basic knowledge of the securities industry. Think of it as your entry ticket. It covers 4 main areas: knowledge of capital markets, understanding products and their risks, trading and customer accounts, and regulatory frameworks. The SIE is designed to test whether you understand the fundamentals before you move on to more specialized exams. Here's an important detail: you do not need to be employed by a brokerage firm to take the SIE. Anyone who is 18 or older can take it. This means you can get a head start on your career while still in college or while job hunting. Passing the SIE shows potential employers that you are serious, motivated, and already have foundational knowledge. The passing score is 70%. And as of 2026, FINRA has reduced the waiting period for retaking failed exams from 30 days to 15 days after the first and second attempts, which is a welcome change for candidates who do not pass on their first try. Study materials for the SIE are widely available. Many candidates use prep courses from providers like Kaplan, Securities Training Corporation, or PassPerfect. These courses typically include textbooks, online video lessons, practice exams, and flashcards. A serious study commitment of 4 to 6 weeks, putting in roughly 40 to 60 hours of study time, is generally sufficient for most candidates. Once you pass the SIE, the next mountain to climb is the Series 7.
The Series 7, officially known as the General Securities Representative Examination, is the gold standard of broker licensing. This is the exam that actually qualifies you to solicit, buy, and sell securities products on behalf of clients. It is 125 questions long, gives you 3 hours and 45 minutes, and requires a passing score of 72%. It is widely considered one of the most challenging professional exams in the financial industry. The Series 7 covers a vast range of topics. You'll be tested on equity securities, debt instruments, options, packaged investments like mutual funds and ETFs, retirement plans, direct participation programs, and the rules and regulations governing all of these products. You will need to understand how to calculate margin requirements, how options contracts work, the tax implications of various investment strategies, and the regulatory requirements for communicating with clients. Here's the catch. You cannot take the Series 7 on your own. You must be sponsored by a FINRA member firm. This means you need to get hired by a brokerage firm first, and then they will sponsor you to take the exam. Most firms give you a window of 120 days to study and pass. During this period, many firms provide intensive training programs, study materials, and even paid study time. But make no mistake, the pass rate is around 70%, meaning roughly 1 in 3 candidates fails on their first attempt. You need to take this seriously. The typical study approach involves 100 to 150 hours of dedicated study time over 4 to 8 weeks. Many candidates use structured prep courses, take hundreds of practice questions, and simulate the actual exam under timed conditions. The key is not just memorizing facts, but understanding the concepts well enough to apply them to complex, scenario-based questions. After the Series 7, there is one more licensing hurdle, and that is the state-level exam.
The Series 63, formerly known as the Uniform Securities Agent State Law Examination, and the Series 66, the Uniform Combined State Law Examination, are required by most states to practice as a securities agent. While FINRA administers these exams, they are based on model rules created by the North American Securities Administrators Association, or NASAA. The Series 63 is a 60-question, 75-minute exam that focuses on state securities regulations, ethical practices, and administrative provisions. It tests your knowledge of registration requirements for agents and securities, exemptions from registration, fraudulent and prohibited business practices, and ethical considerations in dealing with clients. The passing score is 72%. The Series 66 is a combination exam. If you pass it, you satisfy both the Series 63 requirement and the Series 65, which is the Investment Advisor Representative exam. The Series 66 is 100 questions, 150 minutes, and requires a 73% passing score. Many brokers take the Series 66 because it streamlines the process, allowing them to act as both a securities agent and an investment advisor representative. Here's an important point. The exams you need depend on what products you will sell and which states you will operate in. A general securities broker typically needs the Series 7 plus the Series 63 or 66. If you focus on investment advisory, you might need the Series 65. If you sell insurance products or variable annuities, you may need additional state insurance licenses. Always confirm the specific requirements with your sponsoring firm and the states where you plan to work. Continuing education is also a reality of this profession. FINRA requires a regulatory element continuing education program within 120 days of your second registration anniversary and then every 3 years thereafter. Firms also provide annual firm element training. The financial industry is constantly evolving, and your knowledge must evolve with it.
Now, let us talk about how you actually get your foot in the door. Getting hired by a brokerage firm is the gateway to your entire career, because without firm sponsorship, you cannot take the Series 7. The most common entry point is through what the industry calls a broker training program. Large firms like Morgan Stanley, Merrill Lynch, UBS, Wells Fargo, and Charles Schwab offer structured training programs designed to take recent graduates and turn them into licensed, productive brokers. These programs typically last 6 months to 2 years and combine classroom instruction, exam preparation, on-the-job training, and performance milestones. During a training program, your day-to-day might include shadowing senior brokers, learning the firm's proprietary technology platforms, studying for your SIE and Series 7, making cold calls to build a client list, and gradually taking on more responsibility. You will likely start with a base salary plus a commission structure that increases as you build your book of business. But training programs are competitive. Firms receive thousands of applications for a limited number of spots. To stand out, you need to demonstrate a combination of academic achievement, communication skills, sales aptitude, and a genuine passion for financial markets. Networking is critical. Attend industry conferences, join finance clubs in college, connect with brokers on LinkedIn, and reach out to alumni from your school who work in the industry. A referral from someone inside a firm can be the difference between getting an interview and having your resume disappear into a pile. If you cannot land a training program right away, there are alternative paths. You might start as a brokerage clerk, a client service associate, or a sales assistant at a firm. These roles give you industry exposure and can serve as a stepping stone to a broker training program. Some people start at smaller regional firms or boutique advisory practices where the barriers to entry may be lower, but the learning opportunities are just as valuable. Another pathway is through the military. Many firms have veterans programs specifically designed to transition service members into financial careers. Firms like Merrill Lynch and Charles Schwab have dedicated veterans recruiting initiatives. The discipline, leadership, and mission-focused mindset developed in the military translate well to the demands of being a stockbroker. And then there's the increasingly popular path of the independent broker. After gaining experience at a traditional firm, some brokers leave to start their own registered investment advisory firm or join an independent broker-dealer network. This offers more autonomy and higher payouts, but comes with significantly more responsibility for compliance, technology, and business development.
Once you are licensed and working, what does the career trajectory look like? The typical stockbroker career follows a fairly well-defined path, though individual experiences vary. In your first 1 to 3 years, you are a junior or associate broker. Your primary focus is on learning the business, passing your exams, building your initial client base, and proving yourself. This is the survival period. Many firms have production targets, meaning you need to bring in a certain amount of new client assets within your first 18 to 24 months. If you do not meet these targets, you may be let go. This is why the attrition rate in the first 3 years is high, often estimated at 30 to 40%. Not everyone makes it. In years 3 to 5, if you survive, you become a full-fledged broker or financial advisor. You have a growing book of business, you are generating consistent commissions or fees, and you are starting to develop a reputation in your market. Your income typically increases significantly during this period as your assets under management grow. According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, the median annual wage for securities, commodities, and financial services sales agents was approximately $103,000 as of 2025, with the top earners making well over $200,000 annually. By years 5 to 10, you're a senior broker. You have an established client base, deep product knowledge, and strong relationships. Many senior brokers at this stage manage tens or even hundreds of millions of dollars in client assets. Your compensation can be substantial, often a combination of salary, commission, and bonuses. At major firms, a successful senior broker can earn anywhere from $200,000 to over $1 million annually. Beyond 10 years, experienced brokers have several options. You can move into management, becoming a branch manager or regional director overseeing other brokers. You can specialize in a particular niche, such as serving ultra-high net worth clients, institutional trading, or retirement plan consulting. You can pursue additional certifications like the CFA or CFP to enhance your expertise. Or you can go independent, leveraging your established client base to start your own practice with higher payout rates and more control over your business. The beauty of this career is that it rewards initiative and relationship building. Unlike many professions where your salary is capped by a pay scale, in stockbroking, your income is largely determined by the size of your client base and the quality of your service.
Let us now talk about the specific skills you need to develop if you want to succeed in this profession.
Being a stockbroker requires a unique blend of hard and soft skills. First and foremost, you need exceptional interpersonal and communication skills. This is fundamentally a relationship business. You are asking people to trust you with their life savings. If you cannot communicate clearly, build rapport, listen actively, and inspire confidence, you will not succeed, no matter how much market knowledge you have. The best brokers are not necessarily the smartest people in the room. They are the ones who make clients feel understood, informed, and secure. Second, you need strong sales abilities. Prospecting for new clients is a core part of the job, especially in the early years. You need to be comfortable making cold calls, attending networking events, asking for referrals, and handling rejection. Rejection is a constant companion in this profession, especially in the beginning. You will hear no far more often than you hear yes. Resilience and persistence are essential. Third, you need deep and continually updated market knowledge. You must understand how economic indicators affect different asset classes. You need to know the products you sell inside and out, including their risks, costs, and tax implications. You need to be able to read and interpret financial statements, understand earnings reports, follow geopolitical events that move markets, and synthesize all of this information into actionable advice for your clients. Fourth, and perhaps most critically in today's regulatory environment, you need unwavering ethical standards and compliance awareness. The financial industry has been transformed by regulation since the 2008 financial crisis. The fiduciary standard, Reg Best Interest, and a host of FINRA rules mean that brokers must act in their clients' best interests, document their recommendations, and maintain pristine records. A single compliance violation can end your career permanently. Finally, you need emotional intelligence and stress management skills. Markets are volatile. Clients panic. You will need to be the calm voice in the storm, reassuring clients during market downturns while managing your own stress. The ability to remain composed and rational under pressure is what separates good brokers from great ones.
Now, let us get into the pros and cons of being a stockbroker, because this career is not for everyone, and you need to go in with your eyes wide open. Let us start with the pros. First, the earning potential is exceptional. Few professions offer the income ceiling that stockbroking does. According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, security sales agents earned a median annual wage of approximately $103,000 as of 2025, with the mean annual wage at approximately $146,000. The top 10% earned well over $200,000, and successful senior brokers at major firms regularly earn seven figures. Your income is directly tied to your effort, skill, and client base. If you build a large, loyal book of business, your earnings can be extraordinary. Second, the intellectual stimulation is immense. You're constantly learning about companies, industries, economic trends, and global events. Every day brings new challenges and opportunities. If you're someone who is naturally curious about how the world works, this career will keep your mind engaged. Third, there's the satisfaction of genuinely helping people. A good broker helps clients achieve their financial goals, whether that's a comfortable retirement, funding their children's education, or building generational wealth. There's real fulfillment in knowing that your expertise made a tangible difference in someone's life. Fourth, the career offers significant autonomy as you advance. Senior brokers often have control over their schedules, their client selection, and their approach to the business. Many eventually go independent, becoming their own boss entirely. Fifth, the barrier to entry is lower than many other high-paying professions. You do not need a graduate degree, and the licensing process, while rigorous, is achievable in a matter of months rather than years of additional schooling. Now, the cons, and there are many. First, the stress is enormous. You're responsible for other people's money. When markets drop, clients will call you panicked, and you need to manage their emotions while managing your own. The pressure to perform, to meet production targets, and to constantly acquire new clients can be mentally and physically exhausting. Second, the early years are brutal. You will likely start with a modest base salary and be expected to build a client base from scratch.
Cold calling, door knocking, and networking events will dominate your life. The failure rate in the first 3 years is high. Many who enter training programs do not make it to the other side. Third, the hours can be long and unpredictable. Markets open at 9:30 Eastern and close at 4, but your day does not end when the closing bell rings. Evenings are for client meetings, prospecting, and administrative work. Weekends may involve client events or catching up on research. Fourth, regulatory scrutiny is intense and unforgiving. Every communication with clients may be monitored. Every trade recommendation must be documented and justifiable. A compliance violation, even an unintentional one, can result in fines, suspension, or permanent banning from the industry. Fifth, the industry is undergoing structural change. Commission compression, the rise of robo-advisors, and the shift toward fee-based advisory models are changing how brokers earn money. The traditional commission-based stockbroker model is shrinking. Adaptability is essential for long-term survival.
Now let us talk about what you absolutely must know if you are serious about this career. This is the knowledge that separates the professionals from the amateurs. First, you must understand the regulatory framework inside and out. The financial industry in the United States is governed by a complex web of federal and state laws, FINRA rules, and firm-specific policies. The Securities Act of 1933 and the Securities Exchange Act of 1934 are the foundational federal laws. FINRA's rulebook covers everything from communications with the public to suitability obligations to anti-money laundering requirements. You also need to understand the Investment Advisors Act of 1940, which governs investment advisors. These are not just rules to memorize for an exam. They are the framework within which your entire career operates. Second, you must understand the concept of suitability and fiduciary duty. Under FINRA Rule 2111, every recommendation you make must be suitable for the client based on their investment profile, which includes their age, financial situation, tax status, risk tolerance, investment objectives, and investment experience. Additionally, under SEC regulation best interest, brokers must act in the best interest of their retail customers when making recommendations. This is not optional, it is the law. You need to understand these obligations deeply and apply them to every single recommendation you make. Third, you must understand the products you sell. There is a vast array of investment products available, and each comes with its own risk profile, cost structure, and regulatory considerations. Stocks, bonds, mutual funds, ETFs, options, annuities, alternative investments, structured products. You need to know how each works, when it is appropriate, and how to explain it to a client in plain English. Selling a product you do not fully understand is not just bad practice, it is a compliance violation waiting to happen. Fourth, you must understand how to read and interpret financial statements. Balance sheets, income statements, cash flow statements, these are the scorecards of companies, and your clients will rely on you to interpret them. You do not need to be a CPA, but you need financial literacy sufficient to evaluate whether a company is fundamentally sound. Fifth, you must understand market mechanics, how orders are routed, how bid-ask spreads work, the difference between market and limit orders, how margin works, what happens during halts and circuit breakers. These are the operational details of your daily work. Sixth, you must understand behavioral finance. Markets are driven by human emotion as much as by data. Understanding common cognitive biases, loss aversion, herd behavior, and overconfidence will help you guide clients through difficult decisions and prevent them from making costly mistakes. Seventh, and this cannot be overstated, you must understand the importance of documentation. Every client interaction, every recommendation, every conversation about risk should be documented. In a regulatory examination or arbitration proceeding, your documentation is your defense. If it is not documented, it did not happen.
Equally important is knowing what you must avoid. The mistakes that can derail your career or end it entirely are well documented. Let us walk through the most critical ones. First and foremost, never, under any circumstances, use insider information for trading. This is not just a career ender. It is a federal crime. Insider trading carries criminal penalties, including prison time and massive fines. If you come into possession of material non-public information, you must not trade on it, you must not share it, and you should report it to your compliance department immediately. There is no gray area here. Zero tolerance. Second, never make unsuitable recommendations. Recommending a high-risk, speculative investment to a retired client living on a fixed income is not just unethical. It is a violation of FINRA rules and SEC regulations. Always document your suitability analysis. If you cannot justify why an investment is appropriate for a specific client, do not recommend it. Period. Third, never overpromise returns. No one can predict market performance with certainty. Telling a client they will earn a specific return is not only misleading, it is a compliance violation. Always present realistic expectations based on historical data and current market conditions, and always disclose risks. A client who has been told they will earn 20% and earns 12% will be disappointed. A client who has been told they might earn 8 to 10% and earns 12% will be thrilled. Fourth, avoid churning. Churning is the practice of making excessive trades in a client account primarily to generate commissions. This is explicitly prohibited by FINRA rules. Every trade you make should be motivated by the client's investment objectives, not your compensation. Firms monitor for patterns of excessive trading, and regulators actively pursue churning cases. Fifth, never commingle funds. Keep client money and your personal money completely separate. Even the appearance of mixing client funds with personal funds is a red flag that can trigger investigations. Use only approved firm accounts and platforms for all client-related transactions. Sixth, do not neglect continuing education. The financial industry changes constantly. New products, new regulations, new market dynamics emerge every year. If you stop learning, you will fall behind, and your clients will suffer. More importantly, failing to complete your continuing education requirements can result in the suspension of your licenses. Seventh, avoid putting all your eggs in one basket when it comes to your own career. Do not become entirely dependent on a single large client or a single product line. Diversify your client base and your service offerings. If your largest client leaves, you should be able to absorb the loss without it devastating your business. Eighth, never falsify or omit material information on any document. Whether it is a client account application, a compliance report, or a performance summary, accuracy and honesty are non-negotiable. Falsifying records is one of the fastest ways to be permanently barred from the securities industry.
Now let us talk about the downfalls you will endure if you do not follow the correct path. This is the reality check. The financial industry does not forgive shortcuts, and the consequences of cutting corners are severe. First, exam failure. If you do not take the SIE, Series 7, and Series 63 or 66 seriously, you will fail. And failing means delays. Before the recent rule change, you had to wait 30 days to retake a failed exam. Now, FINRA has reduced that to 15 days for the first and second attempts. But after 3 failures, you face a 60-day wait. Multiple failures not only delay your career, but also signal to employers that you may not be committed or capable. Some firms will terminate trainees who fail exams multiple times. Second, career stalling. If you do not invest in building your client base early, you will struggle to meet production targets. Many firms have strict performance benchmarks. If you do not bring in a minimum amount of new assets within your first 18 to 24 months, you will be let go. The early years require relentless effort in prospecting and relationship building. Those who treat it like a 9-to-5 job rarely survive. Third, regulatory trouble. This is the most serious consequence. If you violate securities laws or FINRA rules, the repercussions can be devastating. FINRA can impose fines, suspend your license, or bar you permanently from the securities industry. The SEC can bring civil enforcement actions. State regulators can revoke your state registrations. And criminal prosecution is possible for the most serious violations. A regulatory action goes on your public record through FINRA's broker check system, which is accessible to anyone. A single serious violation can make you unemployable in the financial industry for the rest of your life. Fourth, client losses and lawsuits. If you make poor recommendations, fail to diversify a client's portfolio, or engage in excessive trading, your clients can lose significant amounts of money, and they can sue. Securities arbitration through FINRA's dispute resolution form is how most client complaints are resolved. Even if you win, the process is stressful, time-consuming, and expensive. And if you lose, you may be liable for damages, legal fees, and your firm may require you to reimburse them. Fifth, reputational damage. In the financial industry, your reputation is your most valuable asset. It takes years to build and moments to destroy. A compliance violation, a client complaint, or even rumors of unethical behavior can spread quickly through the tight-knit financial community. Once your reputation is damaged, rebuilding it is incredibly difficult. Clients talk to each other. Brokers talk to each other. Recruiters talk to each other. A bad reputation follows you. Sixth, burnout. The combination of high stress, long hours, constant pressure to produce, and the emotional weight of managing other people's money can lead to severe burnout. Stockbrokers experience some of the highest rates of stress-related health issues in the professional world. Without proper self-care, boundaries, and stress management strategies, the career can take a serious toll on your physical and mental health. Many brokers leave the industry not because they failed, but because the lifestyle became unsustainable. Seventh, financial ruin. It sounds ironic, but many stockbrokers experience their own financial difficulties. The income can be volatile, especially for commission-based brokers. During market downturns, commissions dry up just as your personal expenses continue. If you do not manage your own finances wisely, maintaining an expensive lifestyle during good years without saving for lean years, you can find yourself in serious financial trouble despite earning a high nominal income.
So, what is the correct path? Let me lay out a clear, actionable roadmap that, if followed, gives you the best possible chance of building a successful and sustainable career as a stockbroker. Step 1. Get your education. Earn a bachelor's degree in finance, economics, business, or a related field. While in school, seek internships at financial firms, join investment clubs, read financial news daily. Build a foundation of knowledge that will serve you throughout your career. Start understanding the Wall Street Journal, Bloomberg, and financial reports like they are your native language. Step 2. Take the SIE exam. You can do this while still in college or while job hunting. Passing the SIE demonstrates initiative and foundational knowledge. It makes you a more attractive candidate to potential employers. Study hard, use prep materials, and pass on your first attempt if possible. Step 3. Apply to broker training programs. Target major firms like Morgan Stanley, Merrill Lynch, Charles Schwab, Wells Fargo, and UBS, but also consider regional firms and boutique practices. Leverage your network, attend industry events, and be persistent. Getting hired is the hardest single step for many people. Step 4. Pass the Series 7 and Series 63 or 66. Once hired, your firm will sponsor you. Treat exam preparation like a full-time job, 100 to 150 hours of dedicated study for the Series 7. Use prep courses, take practice exams, and do not underestimate the difficulty. Pass on your first attempt if you can. Step 5. Build your client base. In your first 3 years, focus relentlessly on prospecting, relationship building, and demonstrating value. Attend networking events, ask for referrals, leverage social media professionally, and become known in your community as a trusted financial resource. Your goal is to survive the initial probation period and build a sustainable book of business. Step 6. Continuously educate yourself. Pursue additional certifications like the CFP or CFA. Stay current on market trends, regulatory changes, and new products. Read industry publications, attend conferences, and seek mentorship from senior brokers, Never stop learning. Step 7. Maintain uncompromising ethics. Document everything. Put clients first. Follow every rule, even when it is inconvenient. Build a reputation for integrity that becomes your most powerful marketing tool. In an industry where trust is everything, your character is your competitive advantage. Step 8. Plan for the long term. Think about where you want to be in 10, 20, 30 years. Do you want to manage a branch, build a specialty practice, go independent? Having a long-term vision will help you make strategic decisions about your career path.
As we wrap up this comprehensive guide, let me leave you with some final thoughts. Becoming a stockbroker is not easy. It requires education, licensing, resilience, ethical fortitude, and an unwavering commitment to putting your clients first. The path is well defined, but it is challenging. The exams are difficult. The early years are grueling. The regulatory environment is strict, and the competition is fierce. But for those who make it through, the rewards are exceptional. You will have a career that is intellectually stimulating, financially lucrative, and deeply meaningful. You will help people achieve their most important financial goals. You will operate at the intersection of global economics and individual dreams. And you will have the satisfaction of knowing that your expertise, your advice, and your integrity made a real difference in people's lives. The financial industry needs more brokers who are committed to doing things the right way. Brokers who understand that their success is built on their clients' success. Brokers who view compliance not as a burden, but as a framework for building trust. Brokers who never stop learning, never stop serving, and never compromise on ethics. If that sounds like the career you want, then start today. Pick up a study guide for the SIE. Start reading the financial news. Reach out to a broker on LinkedIn and ask for an informational interview. Take that first step. Remember, every successful stockbroker started exactly where you are right now, at the beginning, with a decision to make. The question is not whether the path is possible, it is. The question is whether you have the determination to walk it. Thank you for watching this complete guide to becoming a stockbroker. If you found this video helpful, please like it, subscribe to the channel, and share it with anyone who might benefit. Drop a comment below with any questions and I will do my best to respond. Your journey to becoming a stockbroker starts now. Take that first step. This video was created for educational purposes only and does not constitute financial, legal, or career advice. Always verify current licensing requirements with FINRA and the SEC.